Right, now, Android good points. Again, in my opinion, hardware choice, screen size, phone size, physical keyboard, on-screen keyboard, shape, size, dimension, colour, very small Sony Xperias, very big Galaxy S3s. Whatever you want to find or choose, whatever type of handset you like, you'll be able to get. You're not just limited to one design. Number two, customization of software and the operating system. Not only can you buy the specific handset to the shape and size requirements, but you've got the widgets, various manufacturers have different skins and they make things different and look different, and you can completely customize, change everything, build it from the ground up if you want to. You've got full control over the customization. You can really make it a personal phone. Number three, widgets, kind of part of the previous one, but again, this is a big difference in iOS. You can have full screen widgets like your calendar, your task list, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you want. You can dump it on a home screen and you've got full access to that program without even going into it. You get updates on it directly on the screen. Number four, I tend to find that I've only really bought one application since I've been on Android. There seems to be enough free stuff. I never feel like I have to buy anything. The only thing I've ever bought is the keyboard, this SwiftKey 3, but generally speaking, everything else has a free version, or it seems to. Yeah, there are apps you can buy, but there seems to be a lot more choice of free. Like Angry Birds, for instance, on iOS, you have to buy it, I think, or you used to have to buy it. Straight to Android, it's there, you can just get it. Yeah, you've got adverts on things, but there is generally free apps equivalents that are really handy and good to, and quick to buy and free. And if you do want a premium one, yeah, there is a premium one, but you get a good idea. Also, you can refund. If you buy an app you don't like, you can get your money back. That's another point within a point, really. You can't do that on iOS. When you buy it, that's it. Google Navigation and Maps, the way it's integrated, we've just got another update now today. We've got this Googlio event, and they've updated Google Maps, so even with the labs you can pre-cache areas, but now you can actually select, just draw a square, bang, download the maps. The navigation's fantastic. I know in iOS 6 they're going to be doing the same sort of thing, but it's only very recent. I've been using Google Maps as my sat-nav for a long time, and I swear by it. You can go onto your computer, your PC, your Mac, go into Google Maps, click an area, right click, star it, go up to your phone, find the star, navigate to it. Fantastic, absolutely love it. 6, detailed battery usage. When you go into the settings, you can see the actual graph going down of what you're using and sort of leveling out of an evening. You can actually get widgets to show how much battery you're using. It shows you which apps are using the most battery, how long your screen's been on for. You can get really detailed information on what's using the power, if you're syncing with the data, what's causing it. Again, iOS is just more, it's all tucked, it does it all, but it's all tucked away. You can't keep your eye on it and modify it and install things that are hogging data and hogging power. Number 7, I think, I don't know if I'm losing count here or not. And despite speaking as quickly as I can, I've still managed to fill another 4 gig memory card, but fear not, I've ordered a 32 gig card for this camera because I'm sick of changing memory cards. Now, where was I? I was at point number 7. Updates from the App Store are frequent, and you don't have to enter your flipping password. You just go into the App Store, updates are there, hit update all, bang, that's it. You can even select automatically update if you want to. You don't have to go in and type in that sodding password. So, and again, like I said, you tend to get updates more frequently because things don't have to be approved by the App Store, they just flow and you get more. Number 8, apps can be downloaded from a computer, PC or Mac. You just go to play.google.com, browse the Play Store, and if you sign into your Google account, if you're into your Gmail or your Google Plus or whatever, you click on the app, click install, select your phone or phones, whichever one it is from your drop down. If you've just got the one, unless you've got 3 like me, select the phone, click bang, click go or download, install, and then pick your phone up, and sure enough it's being installed. So you can literally just browse your computer and install without having to fiddle. And again, you don't have to enter your password as long as you sign into your account, of course. Point number 9, just give up now, I think it's number 9 anyway. Files can be shared with any number of applications through the system that you've got. Again, it's the opposite point of the iOS one. You're limited to what you can share on this one. With this, anything you install on Android, pretty much you can share with it, whether it's via goggles, even anything you install just has an option to share by or use by. So you just get a really long list, whether it's your email, your Gmail, all the other different applications you install, WhatsApp, you get the option to just say share it via this, and then you can just pick a contact or a method and just send it that way. And the last point, the applications don't have to be approved by the App Store. When the developers write the apps, they can just send them straight away. And if you're writing apps yourself, again, you can just throw them straight into the App Store, the way I understand it anyway, and you can just, that's again, updates are more frequent and you don't have that. So there's a few dodgy, seedy apps and whatnot, but generally speaking, it's a good thing, in my opinion. And finally, Android bad points. So here we go. Number 1, malware and viruses and dodgy stuff. The store is less secure because again, anyone can just upload anything within reason, I think. So again, because of the Apple walled garden, things do take longer to get and they have to be approved. But with Android, you don't get that bad point. But again, the bad point is you can download a virus. Or there was an Angry Birds game that wasn't really Angry Birds, it was delving into your system and stealing passwords and stuff, so you've got to watch out for things like that. Number 2, Android phones seem to use a lot more data, in my opinion. When I had the iPhone 4, I did like a check on the data usage you upload and download after a year, and hardly tickled it, and I used the phone all the time with the maps and all the data, roaming on the train and whatnot. With an Android phone, I get close to using a gig a month. Pretty close, and it's more or less doing the same thing, but it seems to do a lot more background stuff. Now I do have auto syncing on, you can turn that off and just sync when you're in a Wi-Fi area, but I didn't feel the need, I wanted to be up to date all the time, so yeah, they definitely, in my opinion, use a lot more data. So Android uses more data than iOS. Number 3, fragmentation and updates. Again, like I said before, iOS, you generally know when the updates are coming out, you can download them. There's only one type of iPhone within reason, maybe 2, 3G and whatever, but generally speaking, you get an update, you update it over the air. With Android, you've got so many different versions, and every manufacturer puts their own personalisation on before you get hold of the phone. So if you're going to get like the latest version, like the next one now is Jelly Bean, Android 4.1, in order for you to get that, if you're with Samsung, Samsung would have to get it first for the Galaxies and then put their spin on it and put their TouchWiz over it and then release it. People are only just now getting the latest version of Ice Cream Sandwich, and now the next one's coming out, and there's millions of people still running Gingerbread, the previous one. I think it's about 7% of people are actually running Ice Cream Sandwich, something like that. Silly figures. So again, it's very fragmented. There's no guarantee you're going to get the next version when it comes out, unless you get the pure Google phones and tablets, which are known as the Nexus. 4, battery life on the bigger screen models like the HTC One X is terrible in comparison, but again, it swings and roundabouts. I'm making the negative points of Android sound good. I'm sorry, well, not as bad as I did with the iOS. If that comes across that way, I don't mean it to be that way, but generally a bigger screen phone takes more power, so you are going to use more power, more data. Things just generally take more power on Android, I think. So yeah, that's a bad point. 5, I guess, there are less apps to choose from than there are in iOS. Again, the App Store is growing a lot more than it ever has done, but again, if there's an app that's out in the mobile world on an advert or TV, chances are it'll be iPhone first, then Android. So you've got less choice of apps on Android than you have on iOS. Number 6, the built-in email client. You've got the Gmail client and the email client, and the full HTML, and you can't sort of pinch to zoom into them, and it displays a full email, and you have to display images, and it just doesn't feel as nice as the neat little iOS email client, in my opinion. I'm fully used to it. It just takes a little bit of getting used to. I'm not saying it's bad, terrible. It's completely usable, but when you come away from the very neat Apple one, at first it seems a little bit ugly in comparison. But again, it's functional. But this is a bad point. No, it's not. It's terrible. No, it's awful. Number 7, if you're keeping count, well done. I don't think I'm very well. Because Android can be heavily skinned by people like Samsung, HTC, Sony. Everyone's got their own version of TouchWiz, and well, you know, TouchWiz is a Samsung one, Sense is the HTC one. Because that gets layered on top of vanilla, pure Android that you get in the Nexuses. Before that goes on, again, this is what's stopping the updates coming through as fresh, and it can make this experience less smooth and a bit more clunky, and again, it stops you getting the updates as frequently. So it's a nice thing in some respects, but generally stops you getting the updates as frequently, and it makes the OS a little bit heavy and a bit clunky and not as smooth sometimes. And the last point, which I think I've mentioned before, kind of, I'm losing track now, is apps don't have to be approved by the App Store. So again, you can, yeah, I've mentioned this, you can get malware and viruses and things like that quite easy in comparison to what you can on iOS. So that's my opinion as to the benefits, the pros and cons of iOS and the pros and cons of Android. I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm sure people will argue underneath this video and say one's better than the other, Apple's crap or Android's rubbish. Say what you like. I like all technology. I like any technology that works. Like I keep saying, I'm not a fanboy, I just like nice things. Apple computer, Canon camera, Samsung phone. I am a stuck record with that. People pick me up on it, but yeah, that's my opinion. And it's been a Google I/O event today, and I've ordered one of those Google Nexus 7 tablet things because I think they look excellent. So if you're interested, I'll be doing video reviews of that and giving my spin on what I think is going to be a fantastic device. I have had the iPad 1 and the iPad 2, but I found myself not using them, not picking them up, just going for the laptop instead. I think with all the travelling I do, the little 7-inch form factor will be ideal for watching videos, reading books, surfing the web, things like that. So keep your eye out for that, and thanks for sticking with me through this video. Sorry if I kept count badly, and I'm sorry if I don't agree or you don't agree with what I've said with Android and iOS. But again, it's my video, it's my opinion, so we'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching, take care now, bye bye then.